Welcome to my channel. Today, we're exploring Stellar Defiance, a sci-fi journey where humanity stands strong and defies the odds across the galaxy. Dive into epic starship battles, powerful tech, and the resilience that makes us unstoppable in a universe full of challenges. If you're ready for a thrill-packed adventure in deep space, hit subscribe, and let's get started. The universe, ever expanding and ever unknown, had always been home to ancient powers, forces beyond the reach of the young and ambitious species that were still scratching the surface of cosmic exploration. Among the many enigmas that lay scattered across the stars were the Titans, ancient, colossal beings of machinery whose origins and purpose had been long forgotten, their once glorious civilization lost to time. The Titans, who lay dormant and scattered across the farthest corners of the galaxy, were relics of a time before the first human settlements, before the rise of the Galactic Federation, before even the earliest whispers of interstellar exploration. It was this mystery that drew the crew of the Sovereign Dawn to an obscure system on the galaxy's edge, a system that had just begun to reveal its secrets. The Sovereign Dawn, a research and exploration vessel, had been dispatched on a mission to chart and investigate unknown star systems. Captain Adrian Voss, hardened by years of military service and known for his ability to make split-second decisions in moments of crisis, commanded the vessel. His calm demeanor often hid the inner turmoil of having lived through more battles than many men of his age could comprehend. Under his command was a crew of experts, led by Dr. Ilara Niven, an exoarchaeologist and expert in ancient alien cultures. Ilara had spent years studying the scattered remnants of lost civilizations, and it was the Titans she had devoted her life to uncovering. She was obsessed with the idea that the Titans were not simply relics, but a forgotten key to a much grander cosmic mystery. What they found, however, was far beyond any of their expectations. The Sovereign Dawn approached the uncharted system, its sensors sweeping the perimeter of a gas giant surrounded by a dense cluster of moons. The atmosphere of the gas giant was a deep shade of blue, swirling with electrical storms and violent weather patterns. But what caught their attention wasn't the planet itself, it was the massive metallic structure embedded within the largest moon, half buried beneath a thick layer of ice and rock. At first, the structure appeared to be an asteroid, a mere cosmic anomaly, but as they drew closer, it became undeniable it was a Titan. The sheer scale of the structure dwarfed the ship, its twisted spires and immense bulk stretching over the horizon of the moon's surface like an ancient god. "This is it," Ilara whispered, her voice barely audible as she stared at the colossal structure on the holoscreen. Her face was pale, and her eyes burned with a mix of awe and dread. "This is what I've been searching for. The Titan. The one we've been tracking." Adrian stood behind her, watching the screen, his expression unreadable. He had seen many strange and dangerous things in his life, but nothing quite like this. His instincts told him to be cautious, but a part of him knew that this was no ordinary discovery. They were on the verge of uncovering something far bigger than anything they had imagined. "Prepare the landing team," Adrian ordered, his voice steady despite the rising tension. "We're going in." The landing on the moon's surface was not without difficulty. The ice and rock crunched beneath the weight of their lander as it descended onto the cold, barren ground. The crew quickly set up a perimeter, their faces illuminated by the eerie glow of the Titan looming overhead. It was silent here, the only sounds the crackling of their comms and the steady rhythm of their boots on the frozen surface. The Titan seemed to pulse faintly with some kind of low energy, as if it were alive, waiting. Ilara led the team as they approached the entrance to the structure, an enormous doorway carved into the side of the Titan's body, long sealed by eons of neglect. "Can you open it?" Adrian asked, his voice almost a whisper as he surveyed the doorway, his hand instinctively resting on his sidearm. Ilara nodded, her breath visible in the frigid air. "I think so. The markings around the doorway, they're a form of ancient technology, something I've never seen before. But I've studied similar designs. I believe I can get us inside." Her hands moved over the surface of the door, tracing the strange, alien symbols that lined the edges. The symbols seemed to pulse and change in response to her touch, almost as if the structure itself were responding to her presence. With a final press, the massive door groaned and slowly slid open, revealing a dark interior that seemed to stretch on forever. The air inside was thin, and the temperature had dropped to near freezing levels. It was a haunting silence that greeted them, nothing but the faint hum of ancient machinery buried deep within the structure. The crew moved cautiously inside, weapons drawn, as Alara led the way. They were entering a world that had been abandoned for millennia, a world that had once been filled with a civilization far more advanced than any they had ever encountered. As they ventured deeper into the heart of the Titan, the crew discovered vast chambers filled with strange, mechanical constructs, machines that seemed to pulse with an energy that defied all known science. The walls were covered in shifting, alien symbols, patterns that seemed to change and reorganize themselves the longer they looked at them. It was as if the Titan was alive, a sentient being with a mind of its own. The sheer scale of the place was overwhelming. It was clear that this wasn't just a weapon or a ship, it was a fortress, a living, breathing monument to something far beyond human comprehension. Alara's heart raced as she moved deeper into the core of the structure. Every step she took was a step into the unknown, and she could feel the weight of history pressing down on her. They were about to uncover the truth, the answers to questions that had haunted scholars for centuries. But with every discovery, a sense of dread grew in her chest. What if they weren't just unlocking the secrets of the Titans? What if they were unlocking something else, something far more dangerous? It wasn't long before they found the central chamber, a vast room that seemed to stretch infinitely in all directions. At the center of the room was the heart of the Titan, a massive, pulsing core surrounded by an array of alien technology. It was here that they would make their greatest discovery, and here that everything would change. "I've never seen anything like this," Alara breathed, staring at the core. "This isn't just a power source. It's something else entirely. I think it's a consciousness and artificial intelligence." Adrian stepped forward, his brow furrowing. "Are you saying this thing is alive?" Alara nodded, her voice low. "I think it's been waiting for something. For us." As she moved closer to the core, the entire chamber seemed to hum with energy. The walls vibrated, and the air shimmered with a strange, unnatural force. And then, suddenly, the core flared to life, its pulsing light growing brighter and more intense. The Titan, it seemed, had awoken. Outside, on the surface of the moon, the rest of the crew was on high alert. The skies above were dark, and the tension in the air was palpable. Suddenly, the sensors on the Sovereign Dawn began to pick up an incoming signal, a faint, strange transmission. It was too organized to be random, too precise to be natural. The message was encoded in a language the ship's computers couldn't decipher, but one thing was clear: they weren't alone. From the darkness of space, a fleet of ships appeared, massive and sleek, like shadows against the stars. The ships were unlike any that the humans had encountered before. The insignia on their hulls was alien, ancient, almost forgotten. And then, the message came through, loud and clear. "We are the architects," it said, "and the Titan is our legacy. You have awakened it. You have awakened us." The architects were the creators of the Titans, the long-lost race responsible for their construction. And now, they were coming. The tension reached its peak as the Sovereign Dawn's crew watched helplessly from their position in orbit as the alien fleet closed in on the moon. The question that had loomed over them for so long was finally being answered: humanity was not alone. And the Titans were not just ancient machines, they were part of something much larger, something that humanity was now inexorably tied to. Inside the Titan, Alara and Adrian stood before the now activated core, the Titan's once quiet chambers alive with energy. The pulse of the Titan resonated through them, filling the room with an unsettling hum. Alara reached out, her fingers brushing the surface of the core. A surge of information flooded her mind, visions of ancient worlds, forgotten battles, and a cataclysmic event that had wiped out the Titan's creators. The architects had built the Titans not just as weapons, but as protectors of a secret so dangerous it had to be sealed away. And now, humanity had unlocked that secret. The future of the galaxy was uncertain, and the crew of the Sovereign Dawn was at the heart of it. What path would they choose? Would they stand with the architects and learn from the Titans, or would they fight to protect their newly discovered power from those who sought to control it? The answers were just beginning to unfold, and the stakes had never been higher. The Sovereign Dawn was no longer just a research vessel, it was a symbol of the dawn of a new era. Humanity's place in the cosmos had changed forever. What began as a journey of exploration had turned into a quest for survival, as the Titans' legacy and the architects themselves began to unravel before them. The weight of their discovery hung heavy in the air, and the choices they made now would shape the future of all sentient life in the galaxy. The architects had arrived, but so had their secrets. And the game was just beginning.